It's the morning DNA for September 6th, 2021. I am Aaron Dicer, the man of a single black shirt. She is Danae Hughes, the woman of a million distractions. And we're here to find out what this morning is made of. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to scare you into damaging your electronic equipment.
I reorganized my electronic equipment. I realized that the way that I had it set up, I was like awkwardly trying to hunch forward to work and to play. And I think it was contributing to some headaches because I was holding my body in this sort of.
Like a hunched-y hunch. Sure.
Just really inappropriately, sort of like my shoulders up by my ears. And I was also twisted on an angle. So I kind of rearranged some stuff. It's all right. It's all right. But hitting equipment is what I'm doing all the time now. That's the side effect. I don't know that I could have avoided hitting equipment because I'll blame you that it was your fault, but truly, no.
Me personally? You'll blame me personally?
Yeah, blame.
Okay,
well,
I'll take that.
For just
a
moment ago, not for the whole shebang. Just like for what happened a moment ago.
Oh, okay. All right. No, I'll take it all. You know me. I'll eat the blame. If you need to remove blame from yourself, I'm the perfect person to put it on because I'm like, sure, I'll take that. I know how to handle, being wrong at stuff and making mistakes.
I never know how to do that. Could you teach me how to be wrong at stuff? Oh, wait, no, you can't because you don't know how. God, what a conundrum.
Yeah, it's terrible.
What
it's
a
just a terrible conundrum. Yeah. Exciting weekend. You had a big Twitch session.
I did.
I feel like when we say where we're streaming now for the morning DNA, we should say on Danae's Twitch and a few other places. Now that you've got like 500 followers or whatever on Twitch, nicely done.
I just crossed 500 followers yesterday, and that's thanks to streaming playing Wild RP. There's just a really passionate community there right now, and some really interesting storytelling. And so, I had like a burst of activity yesterday. And it was very fun, but my weekend was good. We did something new. My child stayed the night with her grandparents for the first time.
Nice.
So almost more exciting than me gaining 500 follows.
Oh, definitely. As a parent, I will jump on that one and say definitely when your child is learning independence to a way that can go hang out for a full night with grandparents or whoever, that opens up some opportunities.
Yeah, I was nervous. I didn't really get any messages, and I don't know if that's a good thing or I think that's a good thing. It's a good thing. That means that everything is fine. The only messages we got is that so every night she picks a toy or something to take to bed with her. I don't know how this started, but it is one of her ingrained routines. And she oftentimes wants to bring like plastic toys rather than comfortable toys that you would hold and plush into as you go to sleep. And she's been taking to bed these farm animals. So there's a cow and a pig that came in like this farm set that she got, and she just clutches them as she sleeps. And she forgot her cow pig. And so Justin went and brought it to her so she could go to bed last night. That was the only thing that we heard, is that Iris is upset because she doesn't have her cow pig ? Like, what does that mean? Because grandparents don't know what cow pig. We know what cow pig means.
And strangely enough, cow pig is not in reference to Okja.
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 I haven't heard that in forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like a little cow pig.
It is a cow pig.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about. I'm looking up a picture of Okja. How do you spell Okja?
OKJA. And I have that stuffed Okja that they sent me. That's just out in the other room. So yeah.
It is like a cow pig. It's kind of. It reminds me of more of a hippopotamus, though.
It's got a little hippo to it. Yeah, for sure.
You know, like this is very hippo. I don't know if like that. This is very hippo.
Yeah, there's some hippo there for sure. Like in the snout. The snout is very hippo.
And then the ears are pig.
The ears are pig, as is the tail, and then the body is like cow. Yeah. So.
What is this nightmare fuel?
Okja's great. Okja's amazing.
I've never seen Okja.
You shouldn't. No, you should not see this movie.
I don't
No,
know.
let me be very, very clear. You should not see this movie. It is a movie about, how poorly we treat animals that we use for food. That is what the movie is about.
Great.
So there's terrible stuff
Look
in
at
there.
his poor little eye.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, your heart is just going to explode. Oh, no.
The key is when you talk about Okja, you have to say, Okja! Okja! Because that's in the movie a lot, and it's amazing.
Oh, how would I know that, though?
Well,
is it-
it's kind of been an inside running joke with like Jeremy and I and the CinemaSins crew. That anytime
Okay.
somebody mentions Okja, we yell it. So anyhow, yeah. There you go.
JCD's comment is, if my time's spending the night with my grandma is any indication, Iris will have consumed her own weight in food.
That is one of the things. Like when your child goes and hangs out somewhere else, like somebody else's rules are the ones that apply.
Man.
And grandparents like to spoil grandkids.
Yes.
So
I hope that they feel that that's true. I hope they don't fear like me reacting to them, because I know they're going to spoil her. They need to. She's their only grandchild. But she's might not have complied with that because she consumed far too many snacks over the weekend also, and there was natural consequences for that. And so she's like,
oh no.
highly aware that when this happens, this could happen. So she might be like, I don't want to overeat. Perhaps I don't need my
Yeah.
weight in banana chips.
Yeah. It is not time for you questions yet. We will get there, but you know what? Let's go ahead and throw this one in here since it is a question right off the bat. Any predictions of returning to a live show from the DNA studio?
Wow. We've talked about this.
We have talked about this. The short answer is the thoughts are probably not. We're very comfortable in our spaces, and this works very well for programming. I've completely shifted the space in here around so that it's
There
more
is
of a
no
solo
room for
space.
Danae in there anymore.
There literally is a second microphone here with the ability for a second camera and a second backdrop. We could still make it happen, but
There is technically maybe a foot of space at the end of the table where, yes,
Fair.
technically someone
Fair.
could sit and possibly put part of a laptop.
fair.
But that table, the broadcast table, as it started, like when we started doing the show and we were live and we were in the same space together, the room has changed significantly to accommodate after a pandemic. And we've both gotten really comfortable. I mean, I've since moved into this house and I've got my little broadcasting area set up. I have 17 feet of space because I need to spread out. I love having like just stuff everywhere when I work and when I have sticky notes everywhere. Aaron can attest to seeing me work for a long time. I'm an explosion. So if we were to
Yes.
go back into the same space together, there's benefits for that. And then there's also a lot of things that would have to change. And we're both pretty comfortable, even though we're only like a mile apart. Like I
Right.
could literally leave this stream on, drive to Aaron's house, go into the studio, say hi, drive back, sit back in this chair, and Aaron could carry the show and it wouldn't be awkward because it's that short of time.
I appreciate your trust in me. Not sure that it wouldn't be awkward for,
No, it'd be
the
fine.
10 minutes it would take
It'd
or whatever.
It'd be fine.
That would be hilarious one morning. If you were like, all right, guys, fine. And you just left and then showed up over here for a second or two.
I
That
think
would
it'd be
hilarious.
fun. I'd love that you both have your rooms with personalities showing each half of the screen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something that was unexpected for me. I had help kind of assembling this space because I get really overwhelmed by choices. And when I unpacked, I knew this was going to be my office, but I didn't know what it was going to look like. And so I've talked about her before, but I call her my house counselor. She's an organizer that I hired to help me to put things where they belong because I don't know what that means. And I've been learning what that means and she helps me. So she helps set up a lot of this stuff. And then, it just kind of keeps shifting and changing as time goes on. Like I've moved this stuffed animal like over here, like touching her head. And there's little things that'll change every once in a while. And it's a lot of fun. Aaron, he's a guy you put it up and it belongs someplace. It doesn't move.
Right.
I'm very different. Very, very different.
Right. If something moves, it's because I've had a revelation that it works better somewhere else, not just because I'm feeling like things should move. Whereas after working for a decade with Danae, like everything has to change.
Just
She
moves
needs change like
constantly.
constantly. And so, yeah, there are some
makes me feel
benefits to being able to kind of have our own spaces and do that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Good morning, Polly. Glad you're here. Glad you guys are all here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lolly says Aaron is the parent that fills your room with boxes the second that you leave for college.
I like the fact that you think that when my kids leave from college, it's still their room. Like it's not that I fill it with boxes. It just ceases to be their room. It becomes the box room or whatever room I want it to be.
Let's see. Lolly is responded to. Jose says it's better than filling it with a whole human stranger and their stuff is exchange student. For example, exchange student. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely renting out your room if you head to college. Like that's no big deal.
Question for you. This is, guys, hold your you questions. Slab, you know better. Gosh, Slab.
Especially hold this one because it does play into my topic. So,
okay. So we'll get to this.
Yeah.
Remember this and add it back to the chat. And there's lots of really great questions coming in. So save them for the end. We're going to jump into our topics for the day and then write a U in front of it and then put that back in the chat in case we miss it later.
So you ready to shoe a dough?
Ready to shoe a dough? Let's do it.
All right. We're going to do the morning DNA and you. The D is for, is that going to be a thing now?
No, I hope not.
Okay.
Have I been doing that a lot?
I don't know. I
feel like that was the first time I did that.
I think so. It was just perfect. Danae is the D, I am the A, and you are the U. So Danae's going to have a topic, I'm going to have a topic, and then whatever you want to talk about, just put it as a you question after we kind of get through our topics. And we'll have fun figuring some stuff out this morning. Danae, what do you got for us? What's on your mind? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was going to ask this question today. What is something that you lost, but then you found again unexpectedly? And I don't know if you're going to have something on the top of your mind, but I had something amazing happen a couple of weeks ago. And since we missed last week's show, I couldn't tell you about it, but I've been so excited to tell you about this. So I have a ring. I'm actually wearing it, which, spoiler alert, I lost it and found it.
Spoiler alert, it's not still lost.
It's not anything special, right? It's just this little moonstone ring. It looks like it almost looks cheap. Like you could just find it in a, like one of those vendor machines or whatever. I picked this ring up when I was a teenager. I think maybe I might have just turned 20, 21. And I've lost it 3 times. And when I say I've lost it, I mean I lost it in epic fashion 3 times. And each time it's gone for probably over a year. And this most recent time it was gone for 3 years.
In epic fashion is not like a store that she shops at, that she lost the ring at 3 times.
Oh my God, what a great name for a store. That's a great name for a store.
She lost the same ring at her favorite store, Epic Fashion,
Epic
3 different
Fashion,
times. She
yes.
lost it in Epic Fashion.
Don't go to the store. The store is a vortex for losing things.
Yes, exactly.
The first time I lost it, I was at a friend's house, and I don't recall. It's been so long, but I remember that I was so bummed, and she lived in a different, I think 6 hours away, and about 8 months later to a year later, I get a message from her and she's like, "Hey, I found your ring. You're never going to guess where it was. It was in the garden." So she had been out gardening and she found the ring and she immediately knew what it was because I think I drew her a picture of it. That's how badly I wanted it back. Like, it's just got this little circle moonstone with like these 2 little dots beside it in silver. It's really small. So I was so excited. She put it into a card in an envelope and mailed it, and I got it in the mail and I could see the outline shape of the ring where it had been put through all of the mailing equipment and it had been compressed together, and I was so excited. And I wore it again for a very, very long time until I lost it again. This time I lived in an old house. They call them bungalow styles. It was built in 1920, and it's a house where if you opened up all the doors, you could just walk in a circle around it to keep the airflow kind of, going around the entire perimeter. And it had a floor grate for the heater. So in the winter, I would actually move my mattress in right beside this floor grate because it was really nice and toasty compared to living, further away from it. So one day it plummeted into the grate in the floor and gone forever. Didn't see it for another year or two. And one day my dad was underneath the house in this and when, you think about going under a house, you think about crawl spaces. This is not one of those houses. It's like a scooped in section of the earth where they set this, the heater. Mm-hmm. And he was down there and he was tinkering around and it fell out of the heater and just happened to hit the ground. And he happened to look down because it's dark down there and he just shone a light on it. And he calls up, he says, "Hey, Danae, I think I found a ring in your heater." I was like,
amazing.
This time, I don't know how this happened, but I was missing it for 3 years. And I was genuinely bummed about it because for whatever reason, this ring's meaning to me as a person who loves symbolism. It's almost like I just missed it. It doesn't, I don't even remember where I got it. I just like it. And I think because I've lost it and found it twice already and to lose it again and to have been trying so hard to keep track of it. I was working with my organizer. We were going through my closet and I found it in an old purse that I haven't picked up in 3 years. I thought I searched it and maybe I did and I just missed it. And I needed that reminder that things are things and losing them sucks, but it's not the end of the world. I reached in, felt it, knew instantly what it was, gasped, and just started sobbing. And
It's awesome.
Don't know why it means so much. It's like something coming back to you, I guess. I don't know. But it just felt like, this thing that I really enjoy is back in my possession. And I think there's something there about that I shouldn't care so much about losing something. But it was a really, really powerful experience. And I have been wearing it, of course, every day since for the last couple of weeks. And I just, I wanted to share that story with you guys because I think it's really interesting that I keep losing it. And I don't know what's going to happen. I'm kind of afraid. I'm like, this thing's going to go again. And I don't know if it's going to come back.
Well, I can see you. So it's not the One Ring.
Yes.
You're not
Yes.
disappearing when you put it on.
I'm also not hearing Satan when I put it on.
Are you feeling like, too much butter spread over not enough bread or not enough butter spread over too much bread or whatever it is? Hey, listen, we don't speak that language on this podcast. Interestingly enough, my answer is pretty much the same as your answer. It's a ring. I've told this story many, many times, but on my honeymoon, I lost my wedding ring. That's right. I'd had it less than 3 days, and I lost my wedding ring.
Oopsie.
So just to rehash that story, in case you haven't heard it before, we went to the Cayman Islands for our honeymoon and had a nice little beach there. And we went swimming on the beach. And there's this stuff called turtle grass that is like kelp, but kelp that grows up from the bottom of like shallow ocean areas to kind of get the sun. And it's this thick, nasty stuff. And I didn't realize I was getting ready to swim over it while I was snorkeling. And I started swimming over it, and it was gross and yucky. And I was like, rather than turn back, I swam to the other side of it for some reason. I guess maybe I thought I'd see some cool animals or something. But when I got over to the other side, I realized my wedding ring was gone and that I had lost it somewhere in this thick, nasty turtle grass. So we talked to the locals. They're like, buddy, it's gone. Like, you're not finding this. I was like, do you have any underwater metal detectors? They were like, that's really funny. Underwater metal detectors. You're cute. And then they said the best thing they could tell me is to do a grid search, right? Like swim over it one way back and forth and then go, perpendicularly to that way and swim over it back and forth and just do a grid search and see if you can find it. So we did that. Not finding it anywhere. We searched for at least 3 hours. I had the sunburn to prove it the next day, looking for this brand new wedding ring that symbolized our marriage that I lost on day 3. And so we could not find it. Eventually we were like, okay, well, the ocean has it. It is the ocean's now. It is a piece of metal. life will go on. We'll get another one. Everything will be okay. The next day, 24 hours later, I realized that in that whole process, now a little bit about my faith, I am somebody who believes in mystery, the creative force, that controls and creates all things, that I can have a personal relationship with. That is part of my faith. And so I realized I had not tuned in to God and said, hey, if you want me to find this ring, you obviously can make that happen. So make that happen. And so I said that. I went out into the water, said that little prayer, looked down, and it was sitting at my feet. Now, this is not a story I've made up. I lived this. I experienced it. I've told this story for years. It remains to me one of the things I go back to when I doubt any kind of larger mystery to this world that we live in. And it was a really beautiful teaching moment for me in my life that it was there. Now, you can fit that into your belief system however you choose to. That can be coincidence. That can be, whatever version of, the mysterious creative force that you believe in. But, for me, it was definitely one of those things where I was like, okay, there's a reality here that I am living in that is meaningful to me. And so yeah, that was my lost story. I couldn't believe it. It was just sitting there, like right at my feet. Like I just popped my head down and it was like at my left foot. I took a picture of it and everything with the underwater camera that we had bought for our honeymoon. And it remains a touchstone story for my life.
Hold on a second. That's popping out for me this time. And I've heard this story a lot. You took a picture of it before scooping it out of the ocean?
Yes. Yeah, I wasn't worried about it going anywhere.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No. You just happen to find it in some sort of divine, godly miracle. And you're like, you know what? Instead of picking it up and making sure it stays with me, honey, get the camera.
No.
I don't know that I've ever paid that much attention to that. That's insane.
Yeah, it was an incredible story. And yeah. And so I lost that ring one more time. In the laundry. It fell off in the laundry a time a few years ago when I was losing a lot of weight. It wasn't staying on my finger, and then we found it in the laundry. That's not as great of a story, but that first story is one I tell a lot. So yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
So the question is, what is something that you lost and found again? And I was already razzed in the chat by Lucas reminding me that the word unexpectedly at the end doesn't really make any sense. Just ignore that then. Ignore it and just, go with the flow. You don't expect to find things that you've lost. That's true, I suppose. You got my drift, Lucas. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing you. This one's from JCD who says, I lost my sunglasses at work recently. Will update if I ever find them. Hey, good luck. Slab says...
Let's just all list things that we still haven't found and just put it out there into the universe.
My dignity and my right earbud the other day. So you found it again. Good job.
Yeah, I'm glad you found your dignity. That's
your
good.
earbud. Marbles. No, guys, listen, you're missing the point. It's what you have also found. So did you find your marbles? Mm-hmm. Polly says, I lose things in the house all the time, but I have 4 kids who randomly grab things and move them, and will do that too. So most of the time I find things in their rooms. Mm-hmm. Why do we do that? Why do we do that?
Why do we find things in their rooms? Because they take them. Because they're little thieves, and they grab our things and take them to their rooms.
But why?
Why do they take them?
Yeah.
You have a child. They're children. They're curious. They may not even be consciously.
I guess she hasn't done that yet. I guess I'm still in for that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. JCD, who has been called out on Twitch by Lolly for being a traitor. No, just kidding. That was Slab. Slab called for being a traitor, not being on Twitch right now. Generally, I don't lose stuff, though. However, I often misplace things. That's what Aaron does. And it makes him insane. Things? Rarely does he. But if he misplaces, he's like, I don't remember this being.
Do I?
You have, yeah. You like to put things in a particular spot, and then you're like, I know I put this here. And so if you misplace things, it bothers you because you're like, I know I put it someplace where I know I could find it.
Oh, yes, when it rarely happens.
Yes,
usually
rarely.
Usually I know where stuff is. But yes, when it happens,
it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's
a
big,
if I misplace
big deal.
something, it becomes a big deal. Yeah.
It's not lost. And you'll like, no, This is not lost. It is misplaced.
It's in the perfect place somewhere that I cannot remember.
I don't know why. Whereas I misplace things a lot.
It's in the ether for you.
It's in the ether for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Elizabeth says, I lost my favorite pair of pants in a move and ended up finding them in the back of a closet 3 years later. Yes.
Nice.
I love the favorite pants thing.
Now you're in a sisterhood. You're in a sisterhood.
Of the traveling
Mm-hmm.
pants. Yep. Lolly, in epic fashion would be an overfilled chaotic vintage store with some amazing finds, but the store has so much that you have to really work for your special one-of-a-kind finds. I love that. That's a great D&D.
I also like that you expanded the name of the store to In Epic Fashion. I like that. That's actually maybe a better store name than just Epic Fashion.
Yeah.
Because it brings the wordplay.
Inside.
Yeah, it brings the wordplay into it in a new way too. So I like that.
I like it. Jose says, I was playing volleyball at a friend's house, lost my ring with the Aaronic prayer in Hebrew on it. I thought I lost it for good. Fast forward a couple of months and my friend's neighbor found it in their yard. I was so happy. How do these things happen? I really hope that I get some sort of interesting replay, like post this reality where I can kind of just go and rewind and figure out how things happen.
Yeah.
Like it reminds me of when dogs go missing and then they show up years later, like having traversed the country. Just that stuff is amazing to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like this comment on Twitter from Mikey who says, this sounds like a pitch for a Pixar movie, a traveling ring and jewelry friends.
Yeah.
I can see that.
What if jewelry had feelings?
What if, if the brave little toaster can have feelings, so can a ring. Miguel says, I lost my keys for a while. I guess I absent-mindedly left them on a suitcase. They slipped inside. Oh, no. I closed the case and threw it in the closet. Thank God for weekend cleaning.
Yeah. Yep.
Aaron, as you told your story about Jen, did you see this comment from Slab?
Slab says, did that mean that Jen was temporarily married to the ocean? I don't think that's how it works. I think it's symbolic, but maybe there's more to it than that. I hope it's just symbolic because since then that ring has broken, and so there are now two pieces of that ring that are sitting on my bedside table, and instead of fixing it, I think I'm going to get a wedding ring tattoo. I think I'm going to go get a tattoo for my wedding ring because you can't lose that in the ocean.
No.
Nope.
It also bleeds out and fades pretty fast. So
yeah.
Keep it simple. Don't make it like one of those really small, intricate ones.
Really ornate.
Yeah, just like this beautiful ornate thing that in a year just is like what is that?
Just going to be a couple simple lines.
Just
to be the outside of a ring.
Do you want me to do it?
Sure. Yeah, you've got tattoo stuff there, right?
No, I couldn't do that. No. In my mind, I'm thinking just a couple lines. Yeah, I could do that.
Meanwhile, I now only have 3 fingers on my left hand.
You get some sort of terrible infection.
No, you just had the needle up too high and you literally cut my ring finger off.
Oh,
sliced it around. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about me doing. Lolly says,
Danae, is it supposed to sound like it's a bone saw? Is it supposed to sound?
No. My gosh. Is this that'd be your first tattoo, right? If you
Yes, it'll be my first.
Okay.
Yep.
It will be. So this is happening?
In my mind, it is. I just have to, we're in a pandemic and I'm just trying to figure out
That's true. That's true.
where to go and.
So I'm going to get a tattoo again as well, but I want to travel to do it because I haven't found a local artist that I enjoy. There's many that are like in like the coast.
But you want something intricate. Like you want something like an art piece. And I'm just getting something simple. I don't need a fancy tattoo person to do mine.
Okay, well, there goes the idea to go get one together, find whatever. Lolly says...
Well, we can do that. I don't know where we would be, but...
It's fine. Colorado. Lolly says, I lost some sunglasses in 2019. We were in a friend's garage in 2021, and guess what I found in their garage? Chat, what was it? Answer Lolly's question. What did she find in her friend's garage? She left this wide open. Wide open.
I think it was the marbles. I think she found her marbles.
Have you lost your car in a parking lot? Like forgot where you parked? Asks Lucas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yes.
I think that's part of the human experience.
So much. Not anymore though, right? You just push a button and you can find you have an app. You just.
Well, and with Google now, you don't even have to have an app. It'll tell
No.
you where you parked your car. It just knows by
It
your
just
movement,
knows.
and you
Because
just,
once again,
you just ask.
you've given them permission. Okay?
Yeah.
We've all given permission.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody's saying anything in chat about what's been found just yet. I'm just saying. Man, you hopping, chat. You hopping.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking through it, seeing if there's any others. Let's see.
This one's really, my grandmother lost her mitzvah ring. It was inherited and didn't find it. And someone in church found it, which was fitting for a mitzvah prayer. Ooh. Man, rings being found. That's a thing. I remember
Here's the
a
thing.
story that one of our listeners called in that their ring was lost also in a garden. And when they pulled out carrots during the carrot harvest season, the ring was growing around the carrot that they pulled out.
That's
like
fun.
it was sort of like grown around and sort of like gnarled into it a bit because the carrot kind of grew through the ring. And so as it grew, it kind of warped it. Is that not insane? I still don't know if I believe that one. I guess I can't not believe it. You found your ring in the ocean.
24 hours later.
24 hours later.
Yeah, mitzvah. I just did some looking up a mitzvah, which is it means watchtower in Hebrew, and apparently it's hard to explain, but like a really deep bond. It was often used, as a way to express commitment, love, those kind of things. So yeah,
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's really, really neat.
yeah. I wanted to look that up because I wasn't exactly sure what a mitzvah was. Lolly says, "Ooh, Aaron, melt the broken wedding ring down and have it made into a nose ring. Nose rings are much harder to lose."
Oh my God.
Do you want it? Would I look good with a nose ring? There's a little, what is that called? A septum piercing?
Yeah. Or a bull, like a bull
Or do I go with one up here, a bridge? Do I go with like a?
No.
What would look good? I need face
think that
piercing.
You need a face piercing?
No, I need face piercing advice. Do I do like a little
Oh, yeah.
eyelid piercing and a nose, and then like do a chain between the two?
Okay, so you want advice from someone like myself, a
Yeah.
professional piercer.
Right, you're doing my tattoo, so you're doing my
Oh,
piercings
right.
too.
Yeah, God, of course. Yeah. And they just go together. If you see a tattoo parlor, there's likely piercing going on somewhere
Absolutely.
close by,
Absolutely.
within 50 feet or so. All right. Yeah. Let's do this. I feel like the answer is no. Hard no.
You don't think so? Not even earring? What about an earring?
So when I think about like your wedding ring turning into one earring, it's a pretty big chunk of metal for just an earring. So
But what if it were like one of those hoops, like a top ear hoop kind of thing?
yeah, that's the technical term for it. I know these things,
The top ear hoop?
top ear hoop.
TEH?
Yeah.
That's what just go into a piercing place, say, "Hey, I'd like a TEH," and they'll know exactly what you're talking about.
You say, I want the te. And then they know.
That's right. Yeah.
Give
They're
me
like,
the te.
did you just misspell the? Like, I'm trying to figure.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Nick says, "Wait, does that mean Aaron only has 4 fingers, or do you not count the thumb as a finger?" I was not counting the thumb as a finger. It is a thumb. That is what it's called because it's opposable. It is called a thumb, not a finger. Fingers, thumb, fingers.
But
Thumb.
phalanges.
Yes, phalanges,
Phalanges.
fingers, thumb.
And this has been Kindergarten Anatomy, everyone. Oh my God. You guys are amazing. You want to go over to your topic, Aaron?
Well, after this, Nick said, "Once I had this really amazing ring. It was part of a set of 18, and it was the best one of all. Turns out someone found it in a river and then moved into a cave. He then lost my ring in a game of riddles." Nick, that is an amazing story. You should write that down. Like that, people will enjoy that story. They might make movies out of that story. That's good
God.
stuff right there.
You ever feel like maybe there's something being referenced and you just don't understand it? It's me now.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you get there though? Did you get
No,
there?
no. You know what? I'm gonna Google it. Hold on.
Wait,
Okay,
you
so
don't have
hold
to
on. No, cave, ring. Well, I got this. How many of 14, 15,
18?
18 of them. I literally wrote cave ring, 18 of them. Movie,
Sure.
book. These are my
Sure.
clues.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord of the Rings. Thank you.
There you go. You figured it out.
God.
All right. We'll go into the A topic then. Here it is. What is? Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
sorry about that. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
Clicking buttons.
What is something you try out every once in a while, even though it never works? Yeah. So
Self-control.
That's a good one. It's a good one for you today. It's very meta. That was a very meta thing you just did.
I know. I realized as it was flying out of my mouth, just like
Not interrupting people.
I've been working on it for a really long time.
It's amazing.
Oh, how do you put up with me all this time?
I love it. You know I love it.
Yeah.
So anyhow, yeah, I accidentally left my razor on a trip recently, and so
Is it mad at you?
I ordered a. Is my razor mad at me?
Yeah, because remember, all things are sentient beings right now.
Okay, yeah. In the Pixar movie about
Razors
facial care.
and rings. Razor. Oh, that's the movie. Razors
And Rings. I don't know where this movie is going, but
an epic story of loss and
Mm-hmm.
you lost. You didn't lose. You left.
yeah, I left it at the place I was staying, and so I got home, realized it, and was like, well, I'll just order a new one. And then, waiting for it to come in the mail, I, started to grow some stubble. And I was like, you know what? I haven't tried to grow a beard in probably about it was before I died. Was the last time I was growing a beard. Was right before I died. Maybe I shouldn't.
Okay, new chatters. Okay, just a quick stop down. Little side note. long time podcast listeners, long time fans. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron had a death experience, a near death experience that actually was technically death, but then immediately back into the life category.
Yeah, I wasn't breathing for about, or my heart was stopped for about 8 minutes, something like that. Yeah.
But he's fine. He's fine.
Thanks
Okay.
to my wife who saved my life, who was in the room when it happened. Otherwise, I
did.
would not be here with you.
She
for sure.
she saw him go and she leapt into action and she called and she compressed and
She
there was all this
literally
stuff
saved my life by keeping my blood pumping through my body because the oxygen in the blood can be
keep
used
you
by the
alive
body
for-
as long as it's keeps
We
flowing.
learned so much that day.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Anyhow.
so it's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been like 3.5 years.
Sorry.
And every once in a while, I'm like, you know what? Maybe my beard looks good now. And so I try for a little bit, and it never does. But I'm trying again, and yeah, I am going to let this grow probably for a while. The other part of why I'm doing it right now is I really want to see how white it's gotten. I know, I'm really interested, what it looks like now. If, where it's going to be dark, where it's going to be lighter, that kind of stuff as I get older. I mean, I think I talk about this on the podcast every once in a while. I'm excited about aging. I love it. I love that my hair is going gray. I really think I'm not excited about the soreness, the joint soreness, that kind of stuff that comes with aging.
Sure.
Losing your eyesight, that kind of stuff. But as far as appearance stuff, that stuff interests me. How the face changes, how the hair changes, all that stuff. So I am curious what it's going to look like. So over the next probably month or two, I'm thinking through the end of the year, I will probably cultivate some sort of
That's
beard.
more than a month.
Yeah. So I'll probably. Did I say a month?
I thought you said for the next month, and then you said to the end of the year. So I'm just getting clarification. Are you going full How fast
No,
does
I'll
it grow again?
probably mine grows very slow. This is a week's worth of growth. All right. So my facial hair grows very slow. So in order to really kind of sense anything, I'll probably trim it, every few weeks and even it out. But yeah, I'm interested to see kind of what bearded Aaron looks like right now. If there's a little more Santa Claus to it than used to be.
I wonder
We'll see.
too. But it won't be like Santa Claus-y because
No, no,
Santa
no, no,
Claus
no.
is like the big, like, epic
Right. I can't do
grandpa
that.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very difficult for me to do. So anyways, it just got me thinking about like those things don't work for you, but you keep trying them out. That could be a food, like every 3 years you try a certain food and you're like, nope, still no good. Or, whatever it might be.
Lima beans.
You try those every once in a while?
No. You just have to try them once and you know. Anyway, that's not answering the question. This one's from JCD who says exercise. That's mine.
Yeah.
That's mine.
That's an interesting one. It's a little bit more like life pattern kind of stuff, which I totally get and totally fits the topic. And I have kind of the same issues. But exercise works for me. I just don't stick to it. You know what I mean? Like if I were to be an exercise person, like I think it would be healthy for, well, I actually am kind of an exercise person, but I do kind of take, waves of stuff. So,
I'm such a go with her person that as soon as my fellow walker backed out, I'm like, well, I'm back to sleeping instead of getting up. Which is actually good because I need more sleep than ever these days because I'm playing video games a lot. All right, This one is from Jose who says, I have a guitar and I go back to it every once in a while. Still can't play. I also can relate to that one.
Yeah, that's a good one, like an instrument, that kind of thing. I did want to address this. Slab says, Aaron, is Jesus confirmed? No, but I will say that I did die and come back Easter weekend. So just add that little detail.
On the third day.
On the third day. So yes. Also was April Fool's weekend. It was the year.
It was all.
It was the
together.
year where April 1st fell on Easter. That happened like 3.5 years ago.
It was nuts.
So
we're coming up on 4 years. No,
which, by the
we
way,
just passed 3 years.
April Fool's Day 4/1. My number is 41. So yeah, it was an interesting weekend.
It was either this is the best way for Aaron to go out.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was never that. We were all very, very happy. God, I don't ever want to go through that again. All right, let's move on. Okay. Ronald, this one is one I'm going to say, even though it's like obviously got some emotion behind it. But
sure. Some real stuff here.
I try to connect with my parents every once in a while. So yeah.
Yeah, relationships, man. Relationships are tough.
I have a couple of friends that I still get tempted, that I've known for a really long time, since I was like 12, for example. And I try to stay connected to some people because there's just such history there. There's no way to describe, because you can't replace time. You can't replace it. There are some people who have literally known you since like you were you hadn't even formed your adult brain thoughts yet. Like you weren't even expressing yourself. Like you hadn't matured, and you go through these phases, and there's just only a certain number of people that see that. And the desire to connect with those people is so strong because there's something about being known that long. But man, if they're unhealthy relationships, it is tricky. So I felt that one. Thanks for sharing. I know that's kind of more serious, but
Definitely.
it's important.
Miguel says growing facial hair as well. On a good day, it may look Orlando Bloom style, but I do not look like Orlando Bloom. Laughy face. Yeah. I usually end up with lots of like scraggly gap, like right in the middles. So I may have to shape it if I want it to actually look like a beard, and I don't know how to do that. So I'll have to figure that one out.
You could come to my tattoo piercing beard
shaping parlor. Those are all the same thing.
I will help you with
where when I shape your beard, I accidentally give you tattoos and piercings.
To buy one, get two free.
No one knows what the tattoos and piercings will be. It's just wherever
hidden
my
under your
hand
beard.
slips.
That's the thing. It's hidden under your beard.
That's right.
I once watched our friend who has a really big, thick beard. He was, like you do these things with beards where you sort of you just sort of touch them all the time, like they're sort of like a play thing in a way.
They really are. Yeah. I find
like
myself you almost like feel the length of it, Yeah.
Yeah. And so he'll almost like I put my fingers through my hair just to kind of move it around. He'll do that with his beard. And one day he took a pen and was just like putting it into the beard and just sort of separating it out. But he didn't realize that the pin was open.
So he was
And
writing on
was
his
just
face.
writing on his- and you couldn't tell because he had a beard. That's me
That's
with
good.
a tattoo gun, just like zzz, zzz, zzz. No one will ever see. You can never shave.
No.
But if you do, there's art underneath there.
Frost from Fire says, I'm trying. Got my 3 little granny hairs on my chin. I'm aware of these. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yes, yes. Mine suddenly will appear, or one will I don't know what, just like disconnect from my chin, like some sort of stalactite in a cave. It just like kind of like I'm like it's like 6 inches long. How long have you been there? How did no one tell me I have like a hair waddle going on? What is that?
It's just like one big cable of hair just like flapping in the wind down here. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Slenderman says sushi. Ooh.
Oh, good one. Good one. Yes. Yeah.
You know, that's a rough.
I have that a little bit. I don't like sushi, and every once in a while I'll be like, that's just rice with some stuff inside. Like, I like stuff in rice, and then I'll try one and I'll be like, no, that stuff inside is really gross. I don't
also,
like it.
this is vinegar rice, and I hate vinegar.
I did have like a fried California roll once that I really, really liked. Whatever's in that, I kind of enjoyed. So
of course, they dipped it in grease and fried it.
What? You liked fried food? It's amazing, Aaron.
Food ones are difficult because I'm guilty of this. I'll make something. I just think it's so good. And I'll be like, hey, Justin, try this. I think you're going to like it. And he's like, I really don't want to try it. I don't like it. And you think there's a chance. There's a chance that someone's going to shift and change. But no. Lima beans. You just know. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth says, every once in a while, I decide to wear contacts. But every time I go back to glasses after a couple of weeks, I just like glasses. Same.
There you go.
I have contacts. I prefer glasses.
Yeah. Yep.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Let's see.
Should we switch to some you questions?
Sure, we can do some you questions. While you're getting your you questions, then I'll look for maybe a couple more answers to this one. But yeah, go ahead and start getting in your you questions. This is anything you want to ask us. Anything, any topic you want us to talk about. Could be something going on in the news, could be something going on in your life. It could just be something you're curious about. But put a you at the beginning so we can identify that you are asking us a you question, and we will get to those. Let's see. Lolly says, look at Aaron seeking out that beard trimmer sponsorship.
Oh my gosh.
no,
We did have that sponsorship for a hot minute. But it wasn't a beard, was it?
It wasn't a beard trimmer. No.
Listen,
and it wasn't for this show.
No.
It was trimming hair,
No,
but
it was.
It wasn't face hair. No.
No.
It wasn't
No, it was
face hair.
sensitive bit hair.
Wasn't head hair. So
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the stalagmite,
no.
stalactite hair.
Let's see.
Hey, while you do that, because my show is about my Twitch, even though this is our podcast. So again, podcast listeners, thanks for hanging with me as I always talk about Twitch, and also to all of our other watchers on different platforms.
Well, let's be fair. Your Twitch is kind of blowing up right now in some fun ways, and so this show is going to be seen by people who are watching your Wild RP stuff, and that's a natural part of this audience. I love it. I love that it all comes together in this place. So don't feel bad about it. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I wanted to say hello to Azael, Azara, Gina, Bert, Frost from Fire, Helsinged, Viking, no, and Destiny. Thank you for the follows, and thanks for hanging out.
Ronald says, I also try guava paste every once in a while, but the taste is pungent. I don't think I've ever had guava paste, and I don't think I ever will. That doesn't sound appetizing.
This is wrong. Help me out here. Give me an example. I just feel like if you say paste, it just always changes the desire to eat it. Am I wrong?
Toothpaste. Yeah, I don't want to eat that.
Tomato paste.
Tomato paste. Not interested in that.
I just feel like if it says paste in it, it just instantly.
Yeah.
It It's like a concentrated, is there a paste you're supposed to enjoy?
Hamburger paste? No,
No.
that's gross. Icing paste?
Okay, we're onto something there. Nope, you found it.
Chocolate paste?
Yeah.
The
okay.
desserts
Dessert
can be paste.
All right.
Desserts can be paste.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
knew there was something in there that was
Nick says, I eventually was able to succeed, but I watched Anchorman 4 times over a 5-year span with friends and hated it the first 3 times. But for some reason, on the 4th time, I was alone. I loved it. Shruggy emoji.
So you were alone, you loved it, and you was also your 4th watch. It sounds like, what's that thing where when you're captured, you end up liking your captor?
Oh, yeah.
It's
something
that.
syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that syndrome thing, where you've been held captive for too long. Chat's going to say it. Chat knows.
Yeah, they know.
Stockholm. Thank you,
Stockholm
Klaukovic.
syndrome.
Thank you.
Let's see.
I don't know why I said it like that.
JCD with the first you question. What is your favorite running joke? Example, I love to find ways to sneak in a Hamilton reference into conversation, much to the dismay of the Sin Scored. Today, do you have any favorite running jokes?
So I'm assuming that this is sort of based on Aaron and I's job working with CinemaSins, because Aaron and I write scripts every week that turn into YouTube videos to entertain
I don't know
the
that.
masses.
I don't know that he's specifically talking about that. I think he's talking about real life, ways you try to make people laugh. But you can certainly mention some of the written jokes that we write.
Self-deprecating humor.
Yeah.
Okay, I was live the other day, and my fly was down. I got up, I went over to my cabinet, I grabbed something to show people, I came back, and when I sat down, I just happened to catch something in the camera, and I was like,
The glint of metal.
oh. So drawing attention to it to make fun of myself is just like, I am my favorite running joke because I am an egocentric human being. But I'm really bad at this. I guess I immediately go to my job because there's like rules and parameters for that. I'm not a person that remembers jokes or puns and then tries to tell them again. So that one in my real life or just like outside of my job would be hard for me to answer. But like inside the world of CinemaSins, inside that realm where I like to do jokes, I'm really loving finding the ones where I watch something and there's a male figure that's interacting with a female figure and kind of dismissing her power or pointing out how beautiful she is when clearly the scene should be more about her intellect, or just, that kind of just general dismissal of the powerful female that's just so subversive in pop culture. And I love finding really clever, like, he survives this jokes, which is a combination of so many other kind of, expressions inside our script writing. But Ian actually started doing that, and it was in Wonder Woman where someone just says this offhanded comment to Wonder Woman, and he said, this person survives this. And I thought it was so funny because, yeah, in a real world, you wonder if Wonder Woman would have turned around and smacked the guy. But in the movie, they make her just this demure person that's sort of like, oh, haha, and like puts up with that crap. So I just have really enjoyed finding the she survives this, or he survives this, rather, moments specifically kind of around that. What about you, Aaron?
Dad jokes. I mean, I'm Mr. Dad joke. Like anytime I can pull a wordplay out or take what you said and make it not about what you meant, because there's other meanings to the words you're using. Yeah, that's absolutely. I have literally said, hey, hungry, I'm dad many times. Like, it's definitely, it's me.
Yeah.
It's me. Hey guys, it's me.
You're not wrong.
Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it.
It's like part of you too. You cannot help it.
Yep.
Miguel asks, what's a recent fun/weird fact that you learned? I just found out Hurricane Ida reversed the flow of the Mississippi River. I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen. Ooh, man.
That's really interesting because we crossed the Mississippi River right after Ida. So I wish I had been paying attention to that.
Do you think it happened all the way up and down, or do you think it was just like in a section? Because I would assume that it just was sort of a temporary sort of...
Good point.
You know.
I don't know. I have to research it.
So I learned the definition of the word murmuration recently because it was in a song by Over the Rhine, and the song is it's the symbolism of the song uses bird references all like throughout it, broken wings and wild geese of Mary, and there's other kind of references that are in it too. It's a beautiful song, but there's a line that says, "Or is it evening murmurations that make me wish that I could fly?" I'm like, what's a murmuration? So it's a flocking behavior for birds. And it's sort of like, I think it's not like the V pattern necessarily. It's when they do that crazy thing in the sky. Have you ever seen those videos of like just masses of birds and it just looks like this big creature in the sky?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think
it's
that's
how they fly so
murmuration.
closely together. Yeah. I used to call those growing up. I used to call those bird festivals, and every time we would see like a bunch of birds flying, together in the sky.
Bird festival, a bird
Yes.
festival.
I was like, look, it's a bird festival, and my
Yeah.
parents thought that was the cutest thing. So yeah.
Well, you're not wrong. I'm gonna pull up a video because I think that it's that interesting. So I'm gonna do that.
While you're doing that, something I learned recently is that in England they call a pocket knife a pen knife, and I had heard somebody reference a pen knife in something, and I was like, well, a pen knife is like a pen that has a knife on it. It's a very specific type of razor, but they were talking about like a Swiss Army knife, and I was like, that's not a pen knife, that's a pocket knife. Yeah. Or a Swiss Army knife, or whatever, but or a multi-tool knife if you prefer. But yeah, pen knife means pocket knife. I just learned that. So yeah.
Okay, y'all see that?
Yeah, that's murmuration. Yeah,
That
absolutely.
is a murmuration, and apparently it's a tactic to scare away prey.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll never forget the first time that I saw one. Podcast listeners, I know this sucks for you. It's because it's visual, but just imagine the sky filled with like a pod of birds that just somehow magically know which direction they're changing. And so that is a murmuration.
There you go.
There you go.
Very, very nice. All right. Let's see. Anybody else got a you question? Captain Rubble, pineapple on pizza? Question mark.
Yes.
No.
Please.
No, thank you.
I love pineapple on pizza. You can fight
I love
me if you
pineapple
want to.
and I love pizza. Them together makes no sense.
They're just delicious.
Would you put
Calm
blueberries on your pizza?
Yes.
Would you put strawberries on your pizza?
It's called a dessert pizza. Yes.
Well, yeah, if it's a dessert pizza and it has like a cream cheese like sauce, yes,
So
but not
good.
tomato sauce and cheese and meat and pineapple.
Sprinkle of garlic
What?
salt on top. Just a little
Hawaii, I love
sprinkle.
you, but what have you done
So
to
good.
our ideas of what foods go
Savory,
together?
salty ham with the sweet tart pineapple.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna put a Snickers mini on my pizza. What?
I mean,
why is
you
there
do
sweetness
you.
on here at all? Like that
It's-
makes no sense.
we could disagree. It's fine.
Thanks, Captain Rubble. You've ruined the show. We're never gonna do a show together because we disagree on pizza.
Polly says the Mississippi and its tributaries backflow often. We've had a lot of rain to the river, and the rivers are full, and then the storm surge, and then there's a backflow trigger. Crazy.
Nice.
The more you know. Can we trigger like that little?
Nope.
No,
I don't
we
know how to
have
do that. Nope.
All right,
I
hold
don't
on a
know how.
second. I'll work on that. Go ahead.
I'm just looking for more you questions. Is there anything else?
Oh
you
yeah,
guys
there's
wanna
some
know?
stuff in there. Yeah. Just you blah, 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 zippity blah, blah, blah.
What's interesting about, because your Twitch audience is growing, is there's a lot of conversation between the Twitch audience in the chat, which is great. I love that. But yeah, I'm not seeing the questions.
You just got to
for
look
us.
harder. You have to learn. You have to look harder. I am downloading something from a very sketchy website right now to
Don't do that.
this.
Don't
It's
do
too
that.
late. It's too
That's a
late.
bad idea.
It's a really bad idea. But that impulse thing we talked about earlier.
Ronald says, is there any cuisine from a country that you want to try that you've learned about recently? Yes.
Cuisine. Ooh, cuisine makes it seem like it's a very specific meal. Like I was thinking,
Well-
I really want to try a croissant. Like no. What are they called? They look like waffles. Crumpet. I want to try crumpet, but that's not like a thing.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength though, because in general, my answer to this question is pastry. Like always pastry. Different countries have different amazing pastries that I just wanted to try. Like it's like every time there's a something that takes place in another country and they go into a bread shop or a pastry shop and it's like, what is that thing and why does my donut place not have it? You know what I mean? So it's pretty amazing. I would love to try a lot of different of the dessert pastries and the fruit pastries and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's generally my answer.
Yes, please.
All of that.
Yeah.
Lolly says that is a penknife. Well, Lolly, that doesn't surprise me that you would think that.
Because you're amazing.
You're geographically hindered from understanding the true definition of the word. That's good, Danae.
Thank you.
That was close. That was very, very close.
I'm working on it.
Danae just did the more you know.
I'm working on it, yo. Now I gotta get the music. How do I do that?
I don't know.
These are the things that you should do while you're on a live show, right?
Comment from Twitter. Weird fact: scritch the inside of a dog's ear, they will smile on the opposite side of their face.
That's true for humans too. Although I recommend you get permission before scritching anyone's ear.
Even pets.
Yeah. I thought I saw one from
Real Monkey says,
Krakovich.
best classic video game from when you were kids. Were you a gamer as a kid, Danae? When did you start playing video games?
My mom and dad got my brother and I a Sega Genesis when we were little. And we played a game called Toe Jam and Earl all the time. All the time. It was a really interesting way to learn about cooperation because it was a 2-person player. There were stakes in the game because, you could get, injured or hurt. And there were like clues you had to go get. You had to work together. So it was a really nice way for my brother and I to bond together. But I came across a video of someone playing Toe Jam and Earl. And as soon as I heard the music, I was like teleported. It was awesome. Toe Jam and Earl. It's an oldie, but that's one for me. What about you?
Speaking of oldies, I'm going to go back and take this. I'm going to take kids to mean like children, like young children, because for me, that was in the like Atari and television range of games. I mean, NES was when I was like, 10 to 12, so that still kind of falls in that range. But I remember playing Kaboom and Missile Command all the time. Kaboom was a really fun one. So if you remember anything about the Atari 2600, it had a little paddle controller that you held in one hand, and then you turned like a knot, like it had like a volume knob, basically, that you turned with the other hand. And so in Kaboom, you had these 3 shallow buckets, okay, down at the bottom of the screen. And when you turned, you could turn where those buckets were on the screen, okay? And then this guy that was escaping from prison, I think, was at the top of the screen, and he would go back and forth and drop bombs on you, and you had to get the bucket.
Bombs! Sorry.
Not beats, bombs. But that's
gotcha.
Okay. You had to get the buckets under the bombs in time so that they didn't blow up. And every time one would blow up, you'd lose a bucket until you were down to just 1 bucket left. And it would get faster and faster and faster. And I owned that game. Like I was so good at Kaboom and Missile Command as well.
Online?
But Missile Command, more people know Missile Command, but Kaboom is one of those that's kind of flown under the radar. But man, did I love Kaboom! I should look up some video on Kaboom and share that.
What was the Kaboom game?
Kaboom, and it was
Bucket.
Atari.
Bucket.
Yeah.
Play Kaboom, Atari 26.
Yeah,
Yep.
Atari 2600.
Yeah, you can play it
Kaboom.
online.
Oh,
hey,
it's so good.
Here's the good news. Also, super sketchy website. So
you should probably not do that then. You should probably not do that.
I should probably not do that. Okay, there's the one that I found. Carnivore or keto?
Carnivore or keto.
Keto. Isn't that like a keto is like the low carb diet, right?
Yeah.
Is it no meat or is it
Well,
no? You can have meat on a keto diet, right?
I
wonder.
think a keto diet is mostly meat, right? Like,
Okay.
isn't a keto diet no carbs? So yeah, you're going to do lots of
Okay.
proteins, that kind of stuff. In
Okay.
general, I try to stay away from completely cutting out carbs from your life,
Okay.
because they do have important things that they do for you. But we eat way too many of them. Cutting your carbs down and upping your protein is always a good idea. Like, we eat not enough protein and way too many carbs. See the conversation I just had about dessert pastries. So,
I'm over here going bread.
right? Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't pay attention too much, but my diet has shifted recently because I've been using HelloFresh, and so I've been eating a lot of more of a variety of foods that has literally changed what I crave. So my diet before it's a very specific diet. It requires a lot of effort, and it's called the drive-through diet. And it's you have to have a car and have gas and then have money to give to somebody to make you food quickly, and then you just consume it, and it's just filled with what's called salt. So I recommend it for survival.
Nice.
Yep. That was my diet.
I'm doing intermittent fasting right now. I really like it. There's lots of versions of intermittent fasting. The one I prefer is a window of eating every day. So, like, I generally eat from noon to 7 every day, and only from noon to 7. And what I really love about this, for me, is the way that it allows my body to balance out, like, insulin levels, those kind of things, because you go a long enough time that your body kind of has to find homeostasis. And I've just been really enjoying the way I feel, when I wait till about noon to start eating and then finish off at 7. So that's been really good. I've been really enjoying that. There are other versions of that you can do. The studies that I've read show that it's a pretty healthy way actually to eat. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
Here's one from Mikey. What in real life image calms you? For me, it's a sleeping dog or cat or a puppy playing quietly near me. Well, that's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
An image. Like, are you talking about like a mental image, or I immediately thought about looking at a picture and then a picture calms you? But I'm maybe it's more like you pull something up in your mind's eye and then it calms you down. I usually envision, like, when I'm really trying to get still and maybe even try to meditate a little bit, I usually see myself in a green field with not super tall grass. I see it waving, and then I can almost imagine the breeze and blue sky and clouds. I just and I lay down in the grass, and then I try to feel the earth in my imagination. And then I go from my toes all the way to my head and just try to relax every part of my body. So I start my feet and just try to tell my muscles to relax and just sort of sink down into the earth. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of what I do, and it really relaxes me. So then instinctively, if I do need to go to a visual to kind of de-stress, I'll immediately see myself just in that kind of safe space. So that's for me. What about you, Aaron?
For me, it's this image, the image of the Kaboom Activision
Wow.
video game cover. Just really
Podcast
soothes
listeners,
me.
Aaron is showing the smallest resolution picture I've ever seen. Everyone has just leaned into their computer and squinted on a teeny tiny little image of what I
If you're
assume
using
to
a
be the
phone,
cover.
if you're using a phone, you have no chance.
It's like the size of a small SD card. It's just this tiny little thing, and apparently it's part of...
No, I would say in real life, I am calmed by the people I love. And the truth of the matter is, I'm not an uptight person. I'm usually pretty calm anyway, but there is a sense of, hanging out with my wife or my kids or, good friends. And there's just a relaxing there. You're in a safe space. And that's really valuable. So people, I think, for the most part, the people who are closest to me, calm me. So yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and for spending time with us. We go live every Monday at 9 a.m. Central, and you guys are welcome to join us. We go live across multiple platforms, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and the Book of Faces. Because it's just what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But we're not actually on Facebook. Aaron and I both, we have one fan page
We're
on
also
Facebook.
on the Necronomicon. You can. I was just trying to think of the most evil book I could think of. Whatever.
Like in the movies, when they have those books that are just like covered in human skin and eyeballs, and you
That's
open
the
it up, and then,
Necronomicon.
like, we kind of pop
Yes.
out like,
yeah,
"Good
yeah.
morning."
That's right. That's what it's like to be on the site that shall not be named. Yeah. So
please
anyhow,
follow us on any of those platforms. And yeah, we'll hear on Mondays and some days. And the goal, of course, is that someday we'll come back at 9 a.m. But we haven't been able to do that for quite some time. So maybe we should stop saying that, Aaron. What do you think?
no, I think let's keep that goal out there. It's
We
certainly
want people
something.
to know it's possible.
It is possible, and yeah, I would love to pop in some other morning at 9 a.m.
It would be
see.
nice.
Yeah.
We love hanging out with you guys.
Absolutely.
And for those of you guys on Twitch, we're going to raid into somebody before we go. So don't leave just yet. My beloved 34 viewers. I don't know where we're going to go today, though. I usually look at that, but I got distracted by looking at things on the interwebs.
Like the
Because that's what
kaboom, like the kaboom art is probably you're just so
it was-
distracted by this amazing video game. While Danae is looking up somewhere to send the Twitchers, I will say if you do love the Twitch, I am also on the Twitch. And
You're
do
on live right now. Should I raid into you?
That won't work today. Wait, I'll raid into you. You raid into me, and then we'll go away. It'll be amazing.
Pass back and forth and just stay live the whole time. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys.
Anyhow, if you want to follow or sub on Twitch, you can do that for me as well. The only show that you wouldn't find on Danae's Twitch as well is the pop culture show Sif Pop, which is Saturday mornings. We review a couple movies from the week and do the live podcast. So yeah, that's Aaron Dicer on Twitch if you want to check that out. And other than that, appreciate you guys. Love you guys hanging out with you. It's really cool to have this hour plus on a Monday morning just to kind of chill and talk about what's going on in the world.
Yes, your keychain's right here, Derek.
There it is.
I'm going to raid into an artist who is incredibly quirky and just someone that you can hang out with and watch work. He's got a really laid back community. He is, his name is Brush for Hire. He's one of the first people that I found on Twitch that I really enjoyed. His channel point redemptions are really fun. You can make him change hats. You can have him draw things. And he is delightfully and fully his quirky self. And I love that about him. So we're going to raid into Brush for Hire. So please stick around and say hi to him at the very least and get to know him. And yeah, so thanks guys for hanging out. We will see you on another Monday or someday.